So, you want to learn Korean in a year? Well, the road to true Korean fluency is long, but you can absolutely become conversational in Korean within a year through dedication and studying smart, not just hard. So, learning Korean can feel overwhelming at first, and there is a new alphabet, there's new sentence structures, and words that sound nothing like English. But after 5 years of learning and 1 year of living in Korea, I have figured out what actually works. So I built a routine that helped me to go from beginner to confidently speaking Korean in daily life. And in today's video, I'm going to share the exact plan that I would follow if I had to start all over again and wanted to become conversational in 1 year. So this plan breaks your study into 4 practical phases, with each one building on the last one. I'll walk you through what to focus on in each phase month by month. So that includes vocabulary, grammar, speaking, listening, and real world tips that helped me improve faster. And I will also share how to structure your study time to stay consistent and to learn quickly without burning out. So we'll go over what to do first, when to start speaking, and then how to study grammar efficiently, when to add in immersion, and how to avoid the biggest time wasters. So if you are ready to finally make progress in Korean, then here is the game plan. And we will also go over ways to stay motivated through the 12 months because that is, of course, very important. So phase one is building the foundation first, and this will be in the first 2 months. So your goal in month one is to just start building your core. Focus on structure and not speed. And so, of course, first you will want to start learning Hangul, which is the Korean alphabet. It only takes a few days, and you can actually use a free worksheet or a tool like the one on 90 Day Korean's free program, which we have linked here. Next, you need to learn the basic Korean sentence structure because it is totally different from English. So Korean is a subject, object, and verb language. For example, the literal translation of how we would say, I eat food in English would be, I food eat in Korean. So you need to start retraining your brain to think in Korean as opposed to just translating words in the order that you would say them in English. So in month one, you will also want to focus on learning basic survival phrases and greetings, like how to say hello, goodbye, where's the bathroom, how much is this, my name is this, and other key phrases that are relevant to you. And you'll continue saying these phrases frequently for as long as you speak Korean, so getting them down right away will really put you way ahead. And as you learn these phrases, also focus on your pronunciation and being able to understand native speakers when they say these phrases very quickly. So that way you'll really be building your foundation and training your brain the right way, so you'll be able to build more and more on your foundation in the following months. So how can you learn these beginner phrases? Well, there are endless free resources that you can use, and you'll be able to find countless YouTube videos that are focused on the most important phrases to learn in Korean, or the first phrases that you should learn in Korean. There are several structured programs you can use, but at 90 Day Korean, we have a sheet that covers the most crucial phrases that you can learn. And you can access that at the link here. Also, I recommend staying in Hangul, the Korean alphabet, as much as possible and ditching those romanized words. So if you study from 30 minutes to an hour a day in month one, then you will absolutely make a ton of progress. And I recommend trying to build your vocabulary to 100 words in the first month. So this is 3 words a day, which is absolutely doable if you study every day. And the first few dozen words will actually be the hardest since the sounds will be so unfamiliar to you. But you'll be able to memorize words more and more easily once you learn more and become more familiar with Korean. Then, as you move to month 2, try to increase your vocabulary to 300 words. You'll be the most motivated in the first few months because everything is new and it's exciting, and you'll probably start hearing words that you have learned in Korean in entertainment and maybe online, so it is really an amazing feeling. So take advantage of that early enthusiasm to learn as much as you can early on. You can also use the Anki app Beginner Deck, and I always recommend practicing out loud and speaking right away, even if it is awkward. So speaking day one helps to build muscle memory in your tongue and mouth, so the words will start flowing more naturally as you say them more. So here are some key tips for the crucial phase one, which is months 1 and 2. So don't just try to memorize everything, but work on associating words with things that are already familiar to you. Focus on understanding how Korean really works and try to pay attention to the language pattern as much as possible. Also, a great way to start working towards that vocabulary goal is to label things around your house in Korean. So, if you're following this plan and you want some extra structure, then definitely take our free Korean level test. It takes just a few minutes and it gives you a clear breakdown of your level and then what to work on next. And we have it linked below. It's a really great way to stay on track and not waste time guessing what to study. So, phase two is expansion, which is months 3 through 5. And your goal through these months will be to have short conversations. So you'll do this by learning more key phrases, ensuring that you understand the grammar points behind those phrases, and then you will continue to build your vocabulary, of course. So try working through a structured course because that can really help, especially one that teaches grammar in a logical order. And this is where 90 Day Korean structure courses can really help you, as they are designed to take you from a beginner level to having short conversations in Korean very quickly. And the lessons are short and then they build on each other progressively. And they also include native speaker recordings like dialogues and quizzes. And then they also have cultural context. So in phase two, you will want to nail a few of the key areas that are really important in the Korean language. For example, particles and subject object markers like the nun, I, and ga, because you'll use these in most Korean sentences. And you'll want to learn basic verb conjugations in the past, present, and future tenses. And then I also recommend starting with hada, or to do. It is a regular verb in Korean and it forms the base of so many useful action verbs like 공부하다, 요리하다, 일하다. These are called hada verbs and they're everywhere in Korean, making them great for practice and vocabulary building. Next, you'll want to learn the politeness levels in Korean because it is so different from English, but it's also very important to the language and culture. And there are actually 7 different levels of formality, but you'll usually end up only using 2 to 3. Actually, I don't recommend spending much time looking into the 7 levels because most content on the levels is overly technical and most of the levels are not used. So, from living in Korea, I have noticed that these speech levels are almost never referred to by their real names, also. They're just divided into polite speech and impolite speech. So, Koreans call polite speech 존댓말, which basically means you'll be ending your sentences with yo, and you can use this for most interactions. And then the second one is informal speech, referred to as 반말, which you can use this with close friends once you've established that speaking informally is okay. So there's also a third, more formal sounding level that you will hear sometimes, and it is technically part of 존댓말 too, but it's used in more specific situations like public announcements on the news or customer service. For example, 감사합니다 is still 존댓말, but it is more formal than 고마워요 or 고마워. This level is commonly used when you want to show extra respect or politeness, and you will naturally develop a feel for when to use these more formal sounding expressions as you just get more exposure to the Korean language. Now, in months 3 to 5, try building your vocabulary to around 800 words. You will learn a lot of words if you're doing a structured language program, so don't worry if that sounds overwhelming. Just make sure to focus on words that you'll use when talking about your daily routine. To make sure that you don't fall behind on speaking, try to start speaking practice with AI tools like ChatGPT in voice mode. You can say, let's practice a short conversation in Korean, or please speak slowly and correct me in Korean if I make a mistake. This is a really pressure-free way to start conversing, and also this phase is where you start immersing yourself in the language as much as possible. So if you have time, watch K-dramas or Korean YouTube videos with the subtitles on, and then you can actually replay the scenes without the subtitles. So you'll end up picking up new phrases this way and also work on your listening comprehension, which is so important. And one thing about learning Korean is that reading, writing, speaking, and listening are all separate skills to some extent. And so you will need to spread your time across all 4 and then focus on the areas that are most important to you. So here are some extra methods that will help boost your learning in this phase. First, try recording yourself speaking and listening back. Or try joining a free language exchange app like Hello Talk and start texting people in Korean. And this is where you'll really get a feel for how the language is used online, and you'll start picking up things about the culture as well. Most importantly, don't be afraid to make mistakes because your goal is fluency, not perfection. And typically, those who try and use the language with confidence, even if they make more mistakes, will end up progressing faster than those who are too hesitant or wait too long to feel ready to start speaking. If you're finding this video helpful, then give us a like and subscribe for more practical Korean study tips. We do post a lot of videos often to help you learn faster and more naturally. Next is phase 3, which is conversation practice in months 6 through 9. And your goal here should be getting more comfortable using Korean in real conversations. So by this point, you should have a strong base, and now it is time to start speaking regularly. You can use 90 Day Korean's tutor page to book one-on-one lessons with a native speaker and start meeting with them online. And even 30 minutes once a week is huge. I think most tutors will provide feedback and sentences that you can study between the sessions. And then also try to start watching K-dramas or vlogs with only Korean subtitles to test your reading speed. And it might seem a little bit overwhelming at first, but your brain is going to start to catch up. And using apps like Tuda to practice real life scenarios out loud, like ordering food, asking directions, or chatting with a friend is really helpful. And then also learn any grammar patterns from context in real sentences. So when you see something repeated in a drama or a message, then just look it up and see what it means and try to break down the sentence for yourself. And then over time, more and more words will make their way into your long-term memory with repeated use. So try to just use what you've already learned in new sentences as much as possible. And you do need to make your own sentences as much as possible in this phase. And so here are some tips. So first, try thinking in Korean throughout the day and talking to yourself when you're at home. So you'll be surprised at how effective this is, and you'll start really becoming confident soon. Also, keep your materials fun. So there is a good chance that you've used several study programs or apps at this point. You're going to start spending more time studying if you focus on what you like. Also, if you're into a specific type of Korean entertainment, then this will be a fun time to apply what you've learned by reading lyrics in a K-pop song or listening to an interview of your favorite actor, for example. And you'll be able to make out some words at this point, and it's going to be really exciting. So it's just another opportunity to further building your vocabulary. So if you are serious about staying on track for the full year, then check out the Inner Circle program. It's our lessons that make it easy to stay consistent, and the course is built around naturally speaking and not just memorizing grammar rules. So you will also get access to native recordings, cultural tips, and practice exercises to help you sound more natural and confident. And finally is phase 4, which is natural fluency and immersion, which is months 10 through 12. So at this point, you have made it through most of your year, and you are reaching the last 2 months of this tremendous and amazing goal that you've set for speaking Korean. And now you know a lot already, and you still want to focus on speaking naturally and understanding in real time. So I recommend to continue weekly speaking practice with a native speaker and prepare for these sessions in advance by making sentences and learning words that are relevant to you in your current life. And if you've been meeting with a tutor or a language exchange partner already, then try to start doing full free form conversations and only use Korean. Even if you get stuck, you might be surprised with yourself at how you can figure out a way to say what you mean using Korean with what you already know. Plus, speaking only in Korean forces you to get away from the habit of constantly coming back to English. And also try to practice storytelling that can help fill in gaps with your learning. So try talking about your day in Korean, try to explain a memory, or you can try to describe a photo. And then also keeping a short daily journal can really help to improve your writing. And it's just a good habit to form at the end of each day. You will also really want to immerse yourself as much as possible. So watching native content, of course, is key, like K-dramas, podcasts, you can do YouTube videos, or even TikTok. And if you've been using the 90 Day Korean program, you should be around level 3 or 4 by now. So you will know how to speak naturally, you'll understand tone, and you'll be able to use casual speech. So at this point, you can try rewatching shows you've already seen with no subtitles to see how much you can understand. And if you're in Korea, then I recommend challenging yourself to do errands entirely in Korean. I did this a lot when I first moved, and I would prepare in advance before completing a task or visiting a store or a business where I knew I would be interacting with an employee. And it is so helpful to actually study and use that type of practical Korean day to day. So as you get more advanced, your learning will go through a shift from study mode to practical use mode, and getting there is very exciting. So that is my full plan for becoming conversationally fluent in Korean in 1 year. If I had to start over, this is exactly how I'd approach learning Korean. And it is all about starting with the basics, staying consistent, and then using the right tools at the right time. You really don't need to spend hours every day, just 30 minutes to 60 minutes consistently with the right method is going to get you further than binge studying once a week, for example. So, how long have you been studying Korean? Let us know in the comments. See you next time.